Hi everybody, I'm Bill Sanders and this is Watch Art Sci, the art and science of watch collection. Today what I'd like to do is to pair the Rolex Cellini with three different watches. There are basically three models of the Cellini, and so I thought, well, let's take a look at the Cellini and how it stacks up. Now, basically, the Cellini is a gold dress watch by Rolex. And all of the ones that we're going to be looking at are made from ever rose gold. And that's sort of turned out to be a really interesting factor because gold is so expensive. It's hard to find something to compare it with that's on the pretty close, anywhere close to the same price. But we'll try and we'll take a look. Now, the first one is called the Cellini Time, and it's a time-only watch, a three-hand watch with center seconds. And one of the watches, I thought, well, compare it to Classique 5177 by Breguet. The Cellini is 15200. The Breguet Classique is 18800. They're about the same size. Cellini's 39. The Breguet is 38. Now, in looking at these two, I'm not a fan of silicone in watches and in the kind of dress watches that we shell out a lot of money for, we'll put it that way. However, all of Patek Philippe's now have silicone and sort of a lot of other watches, including this Breguet. They have a silicone hairspring in them. And they do work fine. They're very functional, but you can't adjust it. And there's some other things about it I don't care for, but that may just be me. Now, in looking at these two watches, I just love the looks of the Classique. I always have. It's just a beautiful watch. And I would imagine, given a choice of these two, most people would probably go with the Breguet Classique. But because of I like the heart of the Rolex Cellini. Usually you think of Rolex watches as tool watches. And when you get to a dress watch like the Cellini, sometimes people, they don't pay attention to the movement as much. And I think it's important. I really do. One of the problems, and I think this is a problem with most, if not all Rolexes, you can't flip them over and see the movement in the back. On the Breguet, you can. And so, you're looking at these kind of things. When you go for a dress watch, most people just say, well, I'll look elsewhere. But here's a couple that you can consider. Now, in looking at the Cellini Date, here's another one. Again, the Ever Rose Gold, 39 millimeters. This watch is another one I like, and primarily because I really like hand dates. And over at 3 o'clock, you can see a little subdial with the 31 numbers around the side, or actually there's half of 39, and every other number is there, just the odd numbers. But I like that. It's something, if you're going to have a date, that's one way to have it. This one is 17,900 with the polished finish on it. Now, by comparison, the toric chronometer by Parmigiani, I gotta say, I really like the toric. I like Parmigiani. Primarily, I like Parmigiani because they have a real master watchmaker designing the movements. I'm not saying that Rolex's watchmakers are any slouches by any stretch of the imagination. I met a young man at the local jeweler who went to the school, the Rolex school, and he's great. So nothing wrong with her, but I like the idea of a one I can blame everything on. A watchmaker, this guy did it, right? And this is something else I like. Some people don't like having three little dates. On the Parmigiani, they have a little sort of a U-shaped, or sort of very light U-shaped window, for their dates, and they have the yesterday's dates, tomorrow's date, and then today's date. And the even numbers are in little dots, and the odd numbers are in numbers. The first of every month, you get a red one. I don't know why I get a kick out of that. I've got a couple Parmigianis. They're not the toric, but they're nice. By the way, too, all of the Rolexes are COSC certified. This toric chronometer is also certified COS. I think it's COSC. It could be by one of the other ones. But here, with this choice, I really like them both. But for a dress watch, I'll probably go with the toric, but and it's also more expensive. It's a good deal more expensive. Now, the final type of Cellini is the Cellini moon phase. And the Cellini moon phase is a fairly interesting one. I like it. Again, 39 millimeters, 18 karat ever rose gold, polished finish. All of the same, all three of the Cellinis, the time, date, and moon phase, all have that 18 karat ever rose gold. And here, the other thing I like about it, I like the hand date. I especially like hand dates with the little cup at the end where you can see the date. Right now it's on the 12th. With the tracks and so forth, it's a little cluttered, and I'm not crazy about clutter. Moon phase, though, they got a pretty nice moon phase there. With it looks like the moon and the earth, or some combination thereof. It even could be northern and southern hemisphere, but I don't think so. Could be. Now, the 1966 large date moon phase by Gerard Perregaux has sort of a clean dial, a very clean dial that I like, and it's almost identical in price. Again, it's this 18 karat gold. It's 40 millimeter, 39 millimeter for the Cellini, very similar watches. And this one has something else I like about dates. I mean, if you're going to have a date, you ought to be able to see it. And this date is, they call it the 1966 large date. So it's a great big date that you can look at. But, one of the things about the Cellini line, and this makes them very difficult for comparison, there's several watches I saw that I'd rather have that weren't made of gold. They were stainless steel. So that's one of the things you have to factor in terms of interesting kinds of complications. There seem to be a lot more in other watches, but they weren't made of gold. Anyway, that's my view of Cellini. I think that they're sort of cool. They really are. And something you might want to consider. I know most people won't when they're thinking of a dress watch, but there you have it. Let me know. Oh, by the way, too, I don't own in any pair of these, okay? I have no Rolexes. I'm not a Rolex fanboy trying to push Cellini, nor am I a Rolex hater. I'm just a watch guy. Anyway, let me know what you think. This is an opportunity to subscribe if you'd like. Until next time, this is Bill Sanders for Watch Art Side, the art and science of watch collection.